Hey guys, Greg here, Star Drifter Astrology, and I'm going to take you through another week of astrological influence. So, what we have now, the week beginning the 2nd of September, so a couple of these energies have already kicked in. So, we have Pluto regressing to Capricorn. We have the moon now in Virgo, and 3rd of September, we have a new moon in Virgo. We're also going to have Mars in square to Neptune. Then Mars will transition sign into Cancer. Then we have the final hit of the Mercury square Uranus transit that's been going on since mid-July. And that finishes the week, but then the following week, we have Mercury then entering its own sign, and we have more huge astrological significance coming. And then in the very short term, beginning around mid-September, we have eclipse season kicking in again. So the shifts are still huge that are currently going on. And we have Uranus just went retrograde again yesterday. So there's still a real intensity in the air of that Uranian energy. So let's go on. Let's have a look at what's occurring. So since a couple of minutes to 1 a.m. this morning, we have Pluto regressing back into Capricorn. Now, this will be the last time Pluto spends time in Capricorn for about another 200 years plus. So because Pluto was a slow moving planet, the changes, the influence it has goes deep. It's a deep influential change that takes place over time. So Pluto is now regressed back from Aquarius back into Capricorn. So Pluto, the themes from Pluto can be destruction, deep change, a digging up of things, because Pluto is everything that is underneath the surface. Pluto represents, it leads, it rules, it's the modern ruler of the sign of Scorpio, which represents the underworld, what's underneath the surface of things. So there may be things, a lot of digging up to do. And in Capricorn, as an earth sign, it represents the traditional structures of society, the world we grew up in, the world that is built around us, and we adhere to its rules and regulations and its government policies, education systems, everything that has taken lots of time to build up and is now a reliable structure. All these things, Pluto is addressing all these issues that need change, going back into Capricorn. So the themes we can expect to come up here are the traditional societal structures. So it's governments in general, the financial systems, any outdated contracts that need to be renewed. So these are all things that are under review when Pluto regresses back into Capricorn. So there's a lot of things will gradually disappear from our normal structure as we make way for the new thing, the new theme to appear. So yeah, some things will die completely, and a major change will occur on a deep, deep level. Lots of things will come up about what's happened in the past and how we can heal and move on from that, become reborn, give birth to something new. So we are moving into new times, into a new world, and we want to bring the good things with us. So whenever Pluto goes back to Capricorn, we want to bring the nice things that we had from the Pluto's time in Capricorn. Now, when Pluto first entered Capricorn around 2008, that's when we had the huge financial downfall. So it was the financial crisis, probably the biggest one of the 2000s so far. And that's when the huge property crash took place due to missold mortgages and things like that. So that was a deep, deep property financial crash. So it's possible we may see something similar. So let's just see what comes up. Now, in personal terms, this can be a review of your own personal codes, the rules you make in your own life, the rules that you have adhered to, and any dated contracts that you have made in the past. Maybe it's time to review or renew, or maybe it's time to rebuild some of these themes into your life yourself in terms of what's your personal vision, your ambition going forward. How are you going to redesign and rebuild that? What needs to disappear, what needs to be broken down, and then you can reassemble going forward, build from the ashes, so to speak. The USA in particular is going through its Pluto return, and it's still Pluto returns to roughly the same degree. It goes close, but it dips back into Capricorn, and we have all the stuff in US politics at the minute with the election coming up on the 5th of November. We also have Uranus in square to the moon in the USA chart. So lots of deep change going on in the USA, and it's completely up in the air at the minute as to who's winning, who's behind. It's all going to change. It's all going to get very erratic. With the upcoming eclipses and the transits, wow, it's just there's so much going on, and so much things are hanging on. Some people are hanging on by their fingertips, so to speak. So who knows what may come. So it's definitely exciting to watch, and we're on the verge of a new world, a new horizon. So brilliant time to be alive. So yeah, watch this space, concentrate on your own path, and what occurs over the next few weeks when Pluto enters Capricorn, what's coming up for you on a personal level, what comes up. If it's prominent in your mind, it needs to be dealt with. So Pluto in Capricorn, the retrograde cycle finishes around mid-October, around the 12th at 29 Capricorn. Then it goes forward and goes back into Aquarius on the 20th of November, and it remains in Aquarius until the 10th of March 2043. So we're on the verge of a new Plutonian time in the air sign of Aquarius, which is bringing society up. We're upgrading ourselves, upgrading everything to new levels. So we have the new moon on the 3rd, and this is in Virgo. The ruler of the new moon is in square to Uranus, and it makes an exact square again, which is the final hit in a 3-hit transit that's been going on since mid-July. So that Mercury, a very big player because it rules the sign of Virgo here. And the themes to do with Virgo, if we look at health, if we take our health as an example of Virgo energy, how do we find ourselves in terms of health? Do we balance the energies of our body with our mind and with our soul? How do we have a positive spiritual outlook on life? How do we look after our mind? Do we read enough books? Do we educate ourselves? Do we keep our mind active with new things, new information, getting involved in the things we need to do? And what about the body in terms of exercise? How do we treat the body? How do we treat the body as a temple? How do we treat our body? Do we give it proper nourishment? Do we eat proper food? Do we work out? Do we exercise? Do we look after it? So these are all things really worth considering. Now, other themes to do with Virgo is about the routine you find yourself on a daily basis. Is your routine solid? Do you have a good, solid routine? Do you incorporate exercise, reading, education, and a spiritual attitude in your daily routines? Virgo as well is about the work you do. So what do you do for others? We're all in service to something. So what do we do? Are we helping the world? Are we helping society? Are we helping others? So Virgo as well, it's about repairing things, making things work, getting to the bottom of things, analyzing what the problems are, and then initiating something that can repair that, fix it, make it work better. So it can be about working hard to get things near completion. But at the same time, you need to be careful of overdoing things, even overthinking things, or being overwhelmed with too much work, which can lead to a need to escape. Because we have the opposition there to Saturn, which is in Pisces. And Saturn rules discipline, structure, strategy, work, the end goal, the ultimate mastery. So Virgo, the new moon in Virgo is asking, where are you on that path to mastery? Are you near complete? But because Saturn is in retrograde, it's saying, no, we still have to review the situation. There is still lots of work that needs to be done. But then we have the wide square, which is, it's an applying square to Jupiter. It says, yeah, it's coming. The good times are coming, but you must do the work first. Okay. So Mars square Neptune, this is on the same day as the new moon. And Mars and Gemini, so they meet at an angle, a square angle, which creates some kind of tension. Something needs to be done, something needs to be actioned. And we have the planet of action right in the middle of it. So Mars is drive, adrenaline, it's speed, it's action. Gemini is about words, communication, information, sharing information with others, communication, conversation, arguments. Mars and Gemini can be argumentative, so it's very articulate with words, knows how to use them, but also very curious as to find out what's going on. Like at Neptune, the square aspect to Neptune, it's in Pisces. So this is the ultimate dream, the ultimate vision. It's about the illusion. What kind of illusion are you creating, or what kind of illusion do you see in the world around you? Are you driven to escape? Is the world too much? Again, one of the positive things to do with this energy is when you do feel overwhelmed, is to get into something creative, allow creativity to flow, and feel like you're part of something as a whole, like you're working to achieve some kind of oneness, maybe with humanity or God, perhaps. So some kind of oneness, a connection to make you feel more complete. So the energy here is highly mutable. Now it can lead to confusion, lacking in focus, decision making, like direction. Which direction do you want to go in? Or maybe you've been misdirected somewhere. You need to renegotiate where you want to go. But you can also be suffering here from too much information overload. So with this energy, if you do feel overwhelmed, take time out. Neptune is the sea, it's the oceans. So take a trip to the sea, walk on the beach, swim in the sea, or even spend time in nature, or get involved in some creative endeavor that you like to escape into. So art, singing, music, dancing, acting, any of those things. So then we have Mars in Cancer on the 4th. Mars, so that energy will change slightly. It will change from the mind more to the heart and the soul. So what will be highlighted here will be home and family themes. Mars is fight and adrenaline, so you'll be fighting for the people you love. You will have your protective fight will kick in. So you will fight for those and be protective for those you love. But it can also be frustrating because Mars would much rather be out doing sports or trying to plan a strategy to build an empire. So it can be frustrating that all the current focus is put onto home and family themes, but it's important that this gets done as well, because you still must ensure a happy home and happy family. And you may be sensitive to emotions as well during this period of time, and perhaps a bit uneasy, easily upset. So just be aware of that. Now, on the 5th of November, which is the US election day, Mars shifts into Leo. So Leo is a sign of leadership. Mars is in there. So that addresses a real drive in a new type of leadership, a new kind of creativity going forward for the US. Then Mars will retrograde on the 6th of November. Sorry, it will retrograde. I think that might be the incorrect date. I need to double check that. But it retrogrades at 6 Leo, goes back into Cancer on the 7th of January. Then it goes direct again on the 24th of February at 17 degrees Cancer. And then goes back into Leo and on the 19th of April next year. So Mars is spending quite a bit of time in the sign of Cancer here. Now, Mercury square Uranus, this is the final hit, and which is part of a 3-hit transit, which has been going on since the 21st of July. What actually happened there was the huge IT outage, which caused mass disruption around the world with airlines going down and stuff like that. So Mercury is communication, Uranus is the shock and the surprise, and it's also technology. So no surprise that there was some kind of technology issue occurred affecting half the world, so to speak. So we had that on the 21st of July. Then, or around that, it was around the 21st of July as that energy was building. Then we've had the 18th of August, what we had there, that was during the time of the Aquarius full moon, when those energies were really intense. We had, excuse me, earthquakes, volcanoes, storms, discoveries were made, but also disasters and emergencies. So one of the things that I can see, one of the things I think is going to occur is some kind of disruption with banking cards or payment systems, something like that, something that's going to cause huge disruption when people are trying to pay for things. So that's what I think is going to occur around that particular time, around the 7th of September, when Mercury squares Uranus again, because the theme is shock and surprise. It's sudden change, takes you out of your comfort zone completely. So feeling compromised, it cannot in a positive way. This is like genius moments. You can have proper creative breakthroughs, great ideas. You can see you have a vision for the future of where you want to be going. That's a fantastic time as well to upgrade some technology that you've been putting off or waiting in the wings to do. So keep an eye out for special offers and things with technology. This is going to be the time to do it, coming towards the end of the week. So yeah, in Northern Ireland as well, this energy is right on the Mars placement. So there is a possibility for more violence, because we've seen violence erupt lately, because of the race situation and the immigrant situation. And we've also had industrial action as well, which is represented by the planet Uranus as well. So there may be a breakdown in communication to do with trade unions and things like that too. So yeah, highlight it as well, of course, because Mercury is involved, and Mercury is the ruler of the Virgo new moon. And Virgo, being the opposite sign of Pisces, there is potential for utter chaos. So especially if what I think is going to occur, something to do with banking and finance and some kind of breakdown in the communication of those possibly contactless payments, or people paying out with their phones, pay with their watches. So there may be some issue coming along or going to occur that people can't actually transact those payments. So the Northern Ireland chart is impacted here as well, as I have just mentioned. But what we have, the new moon energy, is up here close to the Jupiter placement, which is growth. So there'll be lots of issues coming up in terms of politics. Where are we going? What's our philosophy? What's our meaning? What's our purpose going forward? What kind of work do we need to do to get things going more positively? How we can grow as a nation? That's opposite the moon. So the Northern Ireland moon is in a conjunction with Uranus. So that can suggest disruption as well. And we also have the transiting Uranus on the Mars over here as well, which again brings in that industrial action, the political upheaval as well, and the violence. Because in terms of politics, we have had two leaders resign from like the two of the largest parties in Northern Ireland, the UUP. We've had Doug Beattie resign, and last week we've had the leader of the SDLP resign from his position as party leader as well. So there's lots of political upheaval in Northern Ireland currently. Now, with the Saturn opposition here, Saturn is transiting here retrograde in Pisces, but it makes an opposition to the natal or the position of Saturn in the Northern Ireland chart. Saturn is restriction, discipline, structure, strategy. Pisces is the sea. So Saturn in Pisces can be seen as the large man-made structure in the sea. And we've had the cruise ship, which has been moored in Belfast since the end of May because of mechanical issues, some kind of gearing or rudder, some issues anyway that's restricting its movements back at sea. So it's possible, like Virgo, it's repair time. It's time to fix things. So it's possible we may see this ship back on its course towards the end of the week. So yeah, or some big movements will kick in during this new moon. We'll get it hopefully back to sea very soon, as this energy is highlighting that. The Virgo energy is highlighting the work that's getting done, the work that's planned, needs done. So the blue algae stuff as well, you know, Saturn and Pisces, retrograde, like work to do in the waters. We need to fix the waters. Like this is an example. This is Pluto and the Uranus energy is going, look, come on, what are you doing here? You're killing the planet, you know, get it fixed. So things worth considering. So how do you relate this to the personal horoscope? Like if you have any planets, like the new moon, for instance, 11 degrees of Virgo. So if you have any planets in mutable signs, like from 9 to 13 degrees of the mutable signs, the new moon's going to affect you here. Also 27 degrees of Taurus, so 27 degrees of any of the fixed signs, this is going to affect your horoscope as well. So if you have any personal planets or angles that are impacted for this, you know, they can activate huge personal themes and have a recurring theme coming up again. And we can go into this a lot deeper in a personal consultation. You know, we can look at career, we can look at relationship, how to develop your own personal self, you know, through self-awareness. And we'll look at forecasting, we'll look at what transits are coming up so that you can have an idea of how to navigate what's coming. So Star Drifter Astrology, I do more updates in written format on my Facebook page, Star Drifter Astrology, and I try to get them onto Instagram as well, Star Drifter Astrology. And yeah, I've been giving some people, just a few people who comment on Facebook. So I've just been having a quick look at some of their charts and just sending them a few messages to keep them updated. So that's something I may offer as a service. And I'm also thinking of offering a lunar return reading as a service, as a faster method to keep in touch. And this can be done on a monthly basis. So I'm going to have to work out a price for that. And I can basically give an idea of what's coming up for the month ahead, what's going on, what's the longer term window, what's occurring now as we speak. You know, can do that for a month ahead, but an accurate time of birth is required for that. So if anyone's interested in that, feel free, get in touch, and we'll organize something. We'll get something arranged. So in terms of YouTube, please like and subscribe the channel. Like and share my stuff on Facebook as well, Stardrifter Astrology. And if you want to book a personal consultation, chart exploration, chart interpretations, forecasting, please feel free to get in touch. Thank you.